Hello Libra, it is Haley with Tarot from Beyond doing your September 2018 reading. And I don't want to waste any time because I've been finding that with the explanations that I provide with what I see in these cards tends to make the time frame go over. And I don't want to lose your attention. I want to make the point made as to what you may be experiencing and what you may need to cleanse out of your life and realize why certain things are happening so you can have a greater understanding of yourself and a greater understanding of how to produce the results that you want to see in your life. So it all comes with, the understanding of polarization, the understanding of the law of attraction, and understanding ourselves and how our physical bodies, which have also been known to be, referred to as the ego, relate to our higher selves. And how that relationship is a very precious one to understand. And it takes time to understand it. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that, understanding your higher self is an overnight job. It does require dedication. It does require the desire for change. For those of you who are working on change already, kudos to you for making the steps that you took to get out of whatever situation that was uncomfortable, that was not serving you for whatever reason. Because sometimes we tell ourselves it's not easy to do. But once you do it, you start to see how your life changes, like almost instantaneously. So Libra, let's talk about where a lot of you are, okay? Fairness. Getting on your horse to actually do something about this fairness that will result in happiness. Libras are all about what's fair. Communication. This means communication, speed, or travel, but in this sense, I sense that it means communication. Confusion. And that card represents backstabbing or sabotage. And sometimes it's important to understand that we are the ones who sabotage ourselves with the things that we tell ourselves on a day-to-day basis. I want some of you to think right now of how many of you tell yourself, I'll never reach this level, or I'll never reach that level, or I'll never be able to do this, or I'll never be able to do that. Or how many of you are doing that? How many of you are beating yourself up for anything that you've experienced in the past? And you may not be particularly proud of your actions. How many of you sit and dwell in yesterday and are not living in the present? How many of you can honestly say that some of you are having a hard time living in the present because you're spending a lot of time thinking about your past choices and how they've affected you? Then when I see this confusion card, I just have to remind you that, that's an emotion. And one of the reasons why it's very important for us to have a very good relationship with our higher selves, our spirit, the part of us that is not as familiar to us as the part that is familiar to us, which is, our day-to-day task, our humanly obligations and our human responsibilities and things of that nature. We're more familiar with that because we can identify with that more, because that actually requires that get up and go right now. But see, our higher selves are the part of us that balance us out and that require that silence. and the part of ourselves that requires that we listen to ourselves. Don't dismiss your feelings about things. Now, you can experience whatever feelings that you want to experience. If you want to be confused, then you'll be confused. You know how I combat confusion? I say, you know what? There just may be some things I don't understand right now, but you know what? I'm going to make a declaration right now. And I'm going to say, yeah, I don't understand it right now, but you know what? By the end of the month, I will. It is so. And watch and see how your commands become adhered to by your higher self. Then you'll begin your practice of understanding how to communicate with yourself in a way that is more healthy. And you're not backstabbing yourself by living in the past. See, swords represent thoughts. A lot of you are doing a lot of thinking. And the type of thinking that you're doing is a type of thinking that, I'm going to be quite frank with you, will result in external factors that are a reflection of what you're thinking internally. So if you are not being nice to yourself, you're going to attract people who are not going to be nice to you. If you're confused, you're going to attract people that are also confused. If you're communicating with yourself positively because you love yourself and you're being fair to yourself, then you're going to attract people who love you and who are being fair to you. This results in happiness. Look at all those cups behind him. Not only does he have enough love to give himself, he has so much love to give others because he's attracted the love of others, because he loves himself. And the Knight of Wands represents that a lot of you have matured recently with regards to what to do to make the changes in your life that you want to see. And fairness is also on your mind, as it is, just like it is with Virgo. So if you have a sun, moon, or rising in Virgo, go watch that reading as well, because that pertains to you too, and you will be able to relate to that, okay? Clearly, you want what everybody wants. You want things to be fair. Relationships, situations, and all of that stuff. So my question is, are you being fair to yourself? Because these two cards right here are telling me that all of these thoughts going on around here, the thoughts you're thinking, they're going to manifest externally. So be mindful of that, okay? You're at a time where you can create whatever it is that you want to create. And the way that you do that, I'm going to make it really simple. And this entire month, I'm going to use the example of the magnet. Okay? It takes a positive ion and a negative ion to create something entirely new, which is a magnet. The positive ion by itself is just that, a positive ion. The negative ion by itself is just that, without anything else, a negative ion. But when you put that positive ion and that negative ion together, it creates something completely different, a magnet. The Empress talks all about creation. And so this is in your favor this month coming up in September. Being able to create what you want to create in your life externally by going within and understanding that what you're experiencing externally is a direct reflection of what's going on internally. It does take focus and self-discipline to understand the concept of polarization. Okay? If you look at the Sphinx, right? Then you could see that one is black and one is white. And everybody has their polar aspect to themselves. You know, we have the potential to be the best that we can be, and then we have the potential to be the worst that we can be. And there's a balance that has to be met in order for the choices that we make to be fruitful. You can't have one without the other in order to be focused. You can't only just spend time with the part of you that is easily identifiable, which is just your consciousness and the things that you understand based on your experiences alone. You're going to have to come out of that comfort zone of what you've experienced and what you've learned and be ready to diversify. It's time for you to stop putting rules on yourself because they limit you. Rules as to how far you can go in life. Rules in terms of what your real potential is. Rules that you put on yourself with regards to past relationships that you then impose on new relationships that come with all kinds of baggage. And then you, right? Because you've got this baggage because of past relationships, and then you attract somebody that has baggage because of their past relationships. Now here we go with two people with all this baggage, all of this different energy that neither of you understand, and then it creates a cluster of problems. And that's what we're trying to avoid. And it takes focus. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. This comes with the journey. And it comes with the understanding that everything that we are today is a direct result of the choices that we've made in our lives and the choices that others have made around us throughout the course of our lives. They have a direct influence on who we are today. However, I feel that a lot of you are going to focus on your self-mastery and your financial independence. Libra, this is at your fingertips for the month of September. I see a lot of you making a lot of breakthroughs, but I see that it's going to come with a bit of a journey, and that's okay, because everything comes with a bit of a journey. Now, today is August 23rd, and please understand that from August 23rd to the 25th, you have the opportunity to set your intentions with this full moon tonight on the 23rd. Today is the 23rd of August. Set your intentions on what it is that you'd like to understand about yourself. Integrate the part of you that you understand most, which is the human part of ourself, the ego, so to speak, right? The part of us that sets ourselves apart from everybody else in the world, and the part of ourself that often feels very distant from us, which is our higher selves. Integrate the two. Set your intention with this full moon that you will be able to talk to yourself and understand yourself just like I'm talking to you and just like you understand what I'm saying to you. And then watch and see how quickly that manifests. Set your intentions on what it is that you'd like to see in your life and speak about it as if it's already here. A lot of you have faith, and I'm telling you, that energy goes a long way. Faith that what you set your intentions are will come to the light so that you can understand yourself in a better way. That's awesome. I feel that a lot of you this month are going to commit to yourselves in such a way to where your external factors are going to change drastically. When I see the King of Cups, that tells me that a lot of you have matured in love with regards to loving people despite whatever problems they may have. You know, that's what real love is when you love somebody despite their imperfections, despite whatever baggage they bring to the table. You know how to love them anyway. Well, I first suggest that you learn how to love yourself despite your imperfections, according to what you deem as imperfect. Because what is imperfect is what you define as imperfect. According to this life, there's really nothing imperfect. Everything is imperfect and in divine order. Sometimes our experiences come with pain. Sometimes our experiences come with a lot of joy. Nonetheless, they are experiences that have led you to a further place than you were before. Be mindful of living in the present. Okay? Don't get stuck in the past at all. Because if you're living in the past, then you're not taking in what's going on in the present. And that's why these cards are coming up. Guess what? Swords represent thoughts. For some of you, Libra, your thoughts are driving some of you insane with regard, so to speak, with regards to understanding how to move forward properly so that it's a healthy move forward. It's very obvious that you guys are you're ready to manifest, you're ready to create, and you have faith in your ability to do so. You're going to make a commitment to yourself this month. I sense that for many of you. You're going to get on your horse and do something about a lot of the things that are going on in your life. Just like I did on the Pisces reading. Do you think that I would be able to point out what's going on in each one of your personal lives when, say, 1,000 of you watch this video? No, everybody's situation is different in detail. However, the general rules still apply. Whatever you are experiencing externally is a reflection of what you are experiencing internally. So then if we want to change that internally, we have to get to know ourselves better and understand that we are not just human beings with flesh that have to, only take care of our flesh. Just like you have to bathe your body and just like you have to, take care of the needs of your body, you have to take care of the needs of your soul as well. And if you're not doing that, what happens is it creates an imbalance. And then that imbalance perpetuates all kinds of stuff. So for one, what I'm seeing for some of you, Libra, is that it's loving as you are, because that's your gift, is love. It just is, it's innate for all of you, Libra. I mean, you guys love animals. You guys love people. Love is like your first response toward everything. That's why you pulled the King of Cups. And it's an amazing gift to be able to love people despite whatever the hell they got going on. But understand that if you're loving people that are bringing a lot of baggage to the table, you're going to be receptive to that energy. You're either going to respond positively or negatively, right? So if you have someone in your life that is bringing some negative things to the table, you're going to respond either positively or negatively. Now, if you respond just positively, without being specific about how you're responding positively, you're just going to neutralize the situation and nothing's going to change. Everything's just going to be as it is. It's not going to get any better. It's not going to get any worse. It's just going to stay as it is. But see, the more of a connection that you have with your higher self, your spiritual self, then the more specific you are with the way that you respond positively and the more specific the creation. I'll say that in other words. When you really know who you are and you're able to integrate the part of yourself that you identify with most, which is the part of you that has to eat, sleep, make a living, and maintain relationships, that part of yourself that you can identify with most, because those are the things that are pretty much pressed in your face immediately, and that you have to cope with and manage. You have to manage relationships, and that comes with boundaries, and that comes with all kinds of stuff, right? That have a tendency to perpetuate certain feelings in us, or create feelings in us based on whatever experience we have and whatever relationships, past or present. Those feelings can stick around, and then what do you know? Your external factors are a direct reflection of what you're feeling on the inside. So be mindful of not running your own name through the mud because of whatever mistakes you feel as though you've made in the past. If you consider them mistakes, and I've said this, this sounds like Virgo's reading, to be honest. It's like, don't beat yourself up. Be kind to yourself. Be fair to yourself. This life didn't come with a manual. And so we have to learn, and it's a process. And you know what? That process comes with focus and self-discipline. It's not one of those things where you just say, okay, I'm going to focus on this today, and then for the rest of the week, I'm going to ignore it. And then every Monday, I'm going to focus on me. No, this is a daily observation on your behalf that you have to make of yourself. How are you coping with relationships? How are you coping with situations? Right? And then once you're able to answer those questions, ask yourself, well, where is that coming from? Positive or negative? See, what I'm seeing, though, is I'm seeing some Libras are living more in the past than they are allowing themselves to be in the present. You need to learn how to be in the present, be in the now. Where are you now? Who are you now as a result of all of your experiences? If you really think about it, you should be very happy, because look at all that you've been through and been resilient through. Look at what you've learned. Look what you can take with you. Look at all those swords. Even though these cards have a negative connotation, when I do that, that means, it's negative if you say it's negative. Understand that confusion is self-inflicted. That's something that you have to give consent to. And so is backstabbing yourself by all those, I can't do this and I can't do that. Don't do that. Because you are a limitless being. There are no limits on your capabilities, Libra. There are no limits. But it's up to you to believe that. Because what you believe is your reality. What you believe consists of rules and all kinds of stuff. So, like, if you're adhering to these rules and adhering to these thoughts that invoke confusion and invoke feeling negative about yourself because of what you've experienced in the past, whether somebody hurt you or maybe you hurt someone or whatever the case is, I promise you that now is not the time to sit and bask in those thoughts. Now is the time to bask in the thought that you are a limitless being with the potential to do whatever it is that you want to do. You must believe that in order for you to see the changes in your life that you want to see. And it does come with focus and self-discipline. As I said, it's just like reading a book. Say you buy a book that you have to read for some class at school. And you look at that book and you're like, man, that's a thick book. I damn sure don't want to read that. Oh, that's going to take forever. And how long is it going to take me to understand it? And da-da-da-da-da. Don't do that. The cool thing about life is that you don't actually have to read a book. You can learn through experience. And you've gone through several experiences, Libra, that have led you to where you are today. And you know what? I pulled one of your Akashics cards. This card means you're right on track with regards to what you came here to do. The Ark of the Covenant. You've made an agreement with yourself coming into this life, Libra, as to what you are willing to learn so that you can go into your next incarnation with the experience of this lifetime. This card means you're right on track with the promise that you've made to yourself. Some of you may feel a little rocked, and a little ungrounded with regards to maybe something you've experienced lately, whether it be a breakup or whatever it may be. The bottom line is you are on track. This card means you just sitting there chilling by the fire, and the promise, you know what I mean? That sacred promise that you made to yourself is well protected, and you are doing what you're supposed to be doing. Notice the number 11 at the top too, which represents new beginnings. 1 means new beginning. You add them together, it means duality, the number 2. And so that you have to understand the duality within you in order for you to be able to control your external factors. Because whatever's going on the inside of you is going to be a reflection of what you see on the outside, and with people in relationships, with the way that, you're able to cope with things, all of that. It's all tied together. We're all connected. So a lot of you are well on your way. Some of you may just feel a little rocked with regards to this commitment that you've recently made to yourself toward change. But you know what? You're exactly where you need to be. So just sit back and relax and just be a knowing observer. And with this new moon, set your intentions on what it is that you want in your life, and talk and speak as though you already have it. Words like I am, I have. And then at the end, say it is so. Leave it alone and know that it will come to fruition. So be ready, because whatever commands you make and whatever rules you place on yourself, your higher self will adhere to. If any of this resonated, I ask that you hit like and subscribe. And if you'd like to go into your own personal life and what's going on, and you want to get a little bit more of a grip or more of a control of what's going on around you, I recommend that you take a look at my website, and the services I provide and get a small reading so that we could touch up on what's going on. Not only will you walk away with clarity, you will walk away with a plan. So with that being said, Libra, continue to have the faith and lean on the faith that you are getting ready to start creating, because that's what she is. She's a creator. This means creation. You guys are getting ready to create. Now, what you choose to create is up to you. And you have to understand there's a process. And if any of you need help with that, that's what I'm here for. So with that being said, enjoy the month of September. Be kind to yourself, because as long as you're kind to yourself, you're going to attract people who are kind to you. Long as you accept the past and know that it made you who you are, which is somebody who's smarter today than you were yesterday, then you'll take things a lot easier. You'll take it easy on yourself, and you won't be engulfed in thoughts. So with that being said, I hope this resonated with many of you. Have a great day. Make sure that you set your intentions, your positive intentions. And know that they will come to fruition. So make sure that the questions that you ask of yourself, and make sure the intentions that you set are not trivial, but they actually will manifest real change. I mean, that real change that you've been looking for forever. It's possible. It can happen, because a lot of you have chosen and made that pivotal point. You've made that choice to commit to yourself. That's the best thing that you could do, is marry you. Okay? And once you understand you to a certain degree and understand that there are two parts to you, you'll be able to make specific positive responses to whatever negative situations are around you, and you'll be able to create specific things in your life that you want. And it takes practice and it takes focus, and that's okay. That's part of the journey. So again, if this resonated and you'd like to go further into your own personal life and get some spiritual guidance, that's what I do and that's what I'm here for. Take a look at my website, send me an email, or book your private readings. Namaste, my Libra.